The Municipality of North Cypress-Langford is located to the south of Neepawa, bordering the town on three sides and stretching south past Carberry as far as Shiloh to the west and Edrins to the east. Total population for the area is 2,860, with a land area of 1,762 square kilometers within 6 wards. Council heard from 3 delegations at this month's meeting, including Resurrection Life Ministries, which expressed an interest in developing a long-term project, including a Bible college and food and beverage manufacturing facility, and Brandon Computers, which brought updates about the town's cybersecurity upgrades. The third was from Connex GPS, which presented to Council about a potential GPS tracking system for graders and mowers. The system is intended to benefit all 3 of the equipment operators, the Council, and the municipal residents, with safety features for the operators, digital mapping of routes, progress, and obstacles for Council, and up-to-date information for residents on snow clearing and road grading operations. The Public Works Department has instituted a new monthly safety meeting for all members, which will include regular review and revision of their safe work procedures. They have also requested a transition to online SDS, or safe data sheet inventory, for ease of access and speed during emergency situations. The Health Action Committee continues to fight with red tape regarding getting a new doctor in the community, and are now working with the province and the RHA to help streamline the process. As well, a financial officer has been hired by the municipality, a newly formed position separate from the CAO. Other business this month included regular financial reports and correspondence, none of which required significant discussion, equipment purchases, staff training, and some planning matters, which included 2 standard variation orders and advance notice of a tricky subdivision that will likely be coming before Council in the near future. Following is the March meeting of the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford Council in its entirety.
This is a great place to, we've been in so many places around the world. This place is an amazing place. You know, Abbotsford's a beautiful place, you know, and the mayor that was there, Mayor Ferguson, for 33 years, he and I were best of friends, and we did a lot of things in Abbotsford to control and direct the things that were happening in the street there. And so Leslie and I are very savvy on that, and have a great understanding because we've been in prison ministry for over 30 years. Toughest stuff that you want to think about, and we've had a number of different other organizations that we've helped develop in Abbotsford and other, as far as you know, alternative treatment homes for drugs and rehab and that type of thing. Our concern right now is what is happening in this community. There's way too many suicides for young people and other people, so we want to bring help in that area. So in the basically in the our operation of as far as our community center is concerned, we've been in 2 years we've done 8 conferences, and we've brought people from Florida, from different parts of the world here. And when the people come in to do the conferences here, they're very moved by the community, you know, because they're coming from areas that are crazy, and they come to an area that's very peaceful. So it's a positive thing. But even in our very good community here, there's too many things that bring a disturbance to me, and that's what's happening to our younger generation. So we've always been involved with that in other nations, so we want to be involved with it here now. Let's just call it our last push. We'll probably never see the end of it, but we have a good boards. We have good boards, and if you've got a good board, you've got good leadership. The corporations will always go if you've got good people to manage it. And so that's what our direction is in regards to Carberry being the city of destiny. The one little project that we got going now is going to be based on the community, it's going to be a youth center. We're combining with Youth for Christ. Some of you may know that organization around the world. They're going to help come in here out of Brandon. Rena Navid is the executive director. She did come to our meeting when we spoke at the town council, and so there's a commitment there. And they have a background of trained youth to work with youth. So when we do the youth center, our youth group is called Powerhouse for Youth. And we did some amazing things with the city in Abbotsford. And we want to do some amazing things here in the Westman because of population and stuff. So one of the things that we wanted to do is a youth thing, and we've got the Carberry Fairgrounds booked 12th, 13th, and 14th. We hope to have somewhere between 500 and 1,000 youth come from around the different places and churches or communities here to Carberry on an annual basis. And we have there'll be youth bands, youth speakers, like actual youth speakers speaking to youth to making right decisions. One of our associate pastors with our community group here, our church here, Holy Spirit Sands, is Bruce Umonisician. 33 years with Brandon City Police, heads up the forensic. When I say that, heads up the forensic team, and retiring very soon. His wife is part of a nonprofit there too on the streets of Brandon. And I want you to know there's some things that are going to creep into this community that I want to see creeping in this community. And we have very well trained and very savvy people that understand this type of thing. So Bruce is also the head chaplain for not only Brandon but also across Canada, and also was in the Ukraine training up the chaplains both for the police force and the armed forces in the Ukraine before the war. And he's just over there, and he could be speaking to the kids here in the school or speaking here. So when I say that, I hope that in the future that we'll be able to be speaking to some of the kids in the school here. I think arrangements are going to be made that way to help with that direction with kids. Part of the other thing that in the youth center that we're building is called Kids Corner. It'll be a learning center for reading. We really believe in that reading and literacy is very important. And the different communities that are, or nations that are coming to this area to help with that. So that's on board, and that's what we're doing in a small way right now. I've already contacted Michael Mandel and looking at building the facility there on our property there. So that's one thing that we're moving. One of the other things that we were talking to, which we need to partner with you at North Cypress here, Langford, talking to Ray Muirhead is in some joint projects that we'd like to bring to this community based on, let's say, partnership and seeing the vision of what this might be. Based on working together. Now, we have a corporation called Ember Road Development the corporation that we're using for raising some funds for different things that we want to potentially do here. We want to do a Bible college here, and in that Bible college, there would also, we've done this in some other places in Rwanda and Tanzania. When I say a Bible college, like Brandon University was a Baptist Bible college, started that way, now it's a university. Trinity Western University in Langley was a Bible college. So there's a lot of Bible colleges that started in the United States, so now universities. So you start someplace and you build it. And so Dr. Robert Thompson is a mentor of mine. He's passed on, but he was the head of the Social Credit Party when Pearson and Diefenbaker, and he was the House of Minorities that walked across the room for Diefenbaker and Dievenpower. So I've been under some great mentorship, and in saying that, I'd like to do some good things here now based on how we can bring some government funding, but other funding here to Carberry, to, not only for the Bible College, but there'll also be what I call it is CAST. It'll be CASSTT, a Christian Academic School of Science and Technology and Theology that goes alongside with the Bible College. And also there'll be basically we want to build an auditorium for that'll seat 1,500 to 2,000 people. You say, well, that's pretty aggressive. Yeah, it is. But there's nothing like between Winnipeg, Regina, and Saskatoon. There's nothing that big. So if we're going to build it, I want to build a good enough size that would bring fairly good size when we do conferences and that type of thing. Based on, when I say conferences, it will also be open to different other community things that may want to use this particular facility. It'll also be an auditorium that can be switched back and forth. That'll flow well with when I was talking to Robbie Van Comer and others, it'll switch well with the civic center that is potentially going to be built. So in saying that, education is a great thing. And one of the other things is in the accreditation and different things that we've already got lined up for this, one step. So we have a lot of things that are there to make this become a reality, including the accreditation and so on. One of the things that we want to focus in on as far as the CAST, which is the science and technology, is geothermal teaching. In other words, it will be everything that we will be doing will be as green friendly as possible. Geothermal, as far as heating for the different facilities that we want to build. And my brother is building a lot of this stuff right now in Vancouver. He's well qualified. He's built universities and Bible colleges. Right now he's building the largest hospital in Vancouver. So
You want to
the
try to
projects.
wrap it up here? We've got to soon keep on moving here.
Okay.
Give you another couple minutes, please.
Oh, so okay. So I wish I had some water. But so those are so in partnering with that. So we want to bring in an educational system that lasts a long time. Along with that, we want to build, and when you build something, you need profit, and if it's going to help a nonprofit as far as the educational system, the profit side would be what we call just a beverage and food manufacturing structure, where we want to put together a manufacturing of bottled water. I'll call it Spirit Sands water. Just bottled water. That's it. And I know it's a sensitive topic in talking to Bill and Ray and others, but if that's something that we can work together on, building a manufacturing plant for water, bottled water, great. And the other thing we want to put on beside that is a freeze-dried manufacturing for food. When I say food, there's an organization in Abbotsford that does freeze-dried food, and I believe in this part of this is up in Dauphin. There's an organization up there that's growing tomatoes on a regular basis through something that we could do here. And when I say that, producing food, producing that kind of food on a regular basis, whether it be tomatoes or peppers or whatever it is, we can put together the same thing that they've done in Abbotsford. So that's, you know, I'm trying to push too much in one little thing here, but in order to have this work together, you have to have profit coming from one structure to feed the nonprofit, which would be the school, and so it would bring another form of manufacturing and opportunity for people to be part of another type of group for employment. So,
Thank you very much. Presentation, thanks for coming.
okay.
Have you spoke with our planning officer? This is Rachel,
You can check. Yep.
just so you're aware.
Yep.
Perfect.
We did receive the package as well that you have there.
Yeah, it's a lot to put in 15 minutes. I'm trying to.
We all received it and we've all had a chance to read it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Good, thank you very much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Your name again, sir?
It's Ray Johnson. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
Keep us in the loop.
Pardon me?
Please keep us in the loop.
Okay. One of the things we'll need is partnership in it. And one thing I should have brought my water, but my lips are so dry. But one thing I mentioned to Ray, based on the direction, we put this together. It'll be set up as a co-op as far as the water manufacturing and the food. And when I say that, it'll be under great leadership. It'll be a hybrid of a co-op, because I believe in good leadership and well-qualified people to run things. But I do want to leave this as a co-op for the city, or when I say the town that will grow into a city, long term.
Thank you.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brandon Computers Health Report.
Let's see if we can get on here. He's supposed to join them by Zoom.
Oh, this is Zoom, okay.
I can do this actually. I'm going to have to stop this. I'm frozen, Dallas.
Perfect. That's flattering as hell. Excellent. Perfect. Never fails. If the hamster agrees, I'll be doing something soon.
I'm trying to
At least it's not on me.
Just speak, it'll go to you.
Let's see if we can get this one going now.
Sorry. I just didn't want to miss anything with that presentation allocation, so.
Yes. I agree. I can't hear you in just a minute. This could be fun.
It says there, on the bottom right, speakers, Connex Smart.
Oh, but it's not.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yeah.
We can hear you. Right, Teresa?
Yeah. That's all we're gonna get out of this.
Okay, you want to go ahead? Welcome.
Well, if you can hear well enough that I could do a quick, and I see that we're a little bit behind
Yep.
time change. Everybody's scrambling today. What we will do, I'll cut a little bit of time out because I don't need all of the time, and get you guys caught back on. And then what I can do with Teresa is bring donuts. Oh, I didn't say that, but we'll come out for a visit and figure out how to get the boardroom set up so it's a little bit just more one click instead of messing around every time.
That would be fantastic.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show my screen as soon as I get over to your agenda. I had plenty to keep me busy anyways, being a Monday morning, so I figured things are running a little long. Does everybody see the screen with an agenda on it?
Yep. We can make it a little
Okay,
bigger.
this is life cycle. This is life cycle insights. Don't worry too much about the agenda. I'm just doing more of a check-in, and in complete honesty, it's probably more on us. Teresa and I had a couple of good calls last week and realized that we're going to make some changes and go back in time and just restart the whole onboarding process once again. The organization is in way better shape than it was security-wise for IT, but we've got some other just communication and just get ourselves more aligned, more on track. We're going to get going. We're going to start doing weekly 15-minute meetings that we did start. It got derailed. We won't get into any of that. It's just let's move forward. So going back here, if I go to assessments, we can see that if everybody recalls, last summer we were at 9% when I came presented. We've brought it up to 76% as a scorecard. That's on 48 components that we continually review. To go into those 48 components, and I think you guys are on a big TV, so it should be fairly clear. We don't need to look through each of the actual components because once they're done, they're satisfactory, they're okay. It's the ones that need attention and the ones that are at risk that are most important. So where we're at right now, if I were to do a item detail, it gives me a quick list to look at what needs to get followed up on with our technicians to get in place. And some of it's myself with Teresa. We'll make sure we've got the written policy, acknowledgement, etc. taken care of. But the good news is from 9% to 74% is a substantial increase in cybersecurity. All of those components are being monitored daily. And we recently switched over everyone's emails to myncl.ca. As we go forward with those, we also have, I wonder if I can find any here. Let's go to Avnon. And in addition to this tool, there's a training and a password management there in place. Let Avnon go in the background. Oh, did I miss you guys over here? So I'll let this load up. This is one of the contributing components to the overall score. So out of the 48 areas that we continually inspect, one of them is the security audit for their passwords. So we can see that things are at 83%. And one of the ongoing things we will do is continue to get the reused passwords reduced. That's by no means Teresa's creation, anything like that. That's just what has probably been handed down as different people have been through that position. And so what we will do is we'll make sure that we get this aligned. We want a score of 90% or higher. We give 10% allowance because some people have things that are like door codes or safe codes, things that Keeper won't consider to be exceptionally secure, even though they're completely fine. And we give some allowance as far as that goes. So we can see that their score is 83%, and I want to say when I scored them on the assessment, it was at 82. So somebody's gone in since last Thursday or Friday and increased or something or deleted a password. So just to show, we are constantly monitoring. Back to our agenda quick here. So that's Keeper. Phishing and training program we just started because they switched over to new emails, so we won't be able to take any real results at this point, but we did start actual fake phishing last week, and we've got the new emails all waitlisted. So the next time that we do a review, maybe I'll come out and do it in person because it'll be a little nicer weather, although it is nice today. We can actually dig deeper into the client portal and where their scores lie. But they were just invited. When did we talk? Friday,
Yep,
Teresa?
yep.
So they were just invited after that with the welcome messages. And this meeting was coming up on Monday, so there certainly wasn't anything going to be done training-wise before then. So I don't have any, there's no data. I can't show anything here. But that's underway. And then injecting Total. So we just turned on, it's called Total, T-O-D-Y-L. What that is that secure global network that I was talking about, where NCL, or North Cypress-Langford, has its own sort of mini network being watched by the Security Operations Center. We had started off using Sophos, which was just another tool. They're just as good, but we want to get everybody onto the same platform. And after watching the two against each other for a good 9 months, we feel that although more expensive for us, the Total is a better stack of tools. And so that's the antivirus, that's the Security Operations Center, that's the SIEM, or Security Incident and Event Management, and that's so that monitors and logs for 90 days what's gone on in the network. But they're more active with us. We get emails every day. We get at 1 o'clock every day. I get a Total update, so it tells us if anything's deteriorated on a specific machine. And we also think that's going to help them, like Teresa, be able to remote in securely much more easily than the previous VPN and then remote desktop protocol. So it's just that was loud in my ears. Something dinged on, some reminder dinged on your end because it caught me in the headset. Probably my time's coming up here. Going through Synchro tickets, number 6. That's our ticket system. They'd used the ticket system a little bit, and it was sort of uncovered that because we didn't properly complete the onboarding with Trish, when we do get going with Teresa, we're going to give every one of the team at the office their own portal. So whoever Nelly puts in a ticket, Teresa will see that ticket has appeared, but Nelly can also monitor the progress of that ticket. And when it comes in as a ticket at 9:30, typically at 9:30, not today, but typically 9:30 every morning, our team, I host a ticket huddle, it's called, and we go in and we open up on Teams and we go through tickets. We hadn't been doing that, but it fell to me too that we didn't get that done during the onboarding process because the onboarding process didn't properly roll out. But we will get that sorted and get everybody into a bit better communication. The key to the ticket system is that Dan and I get that on our phone when the ticket comes in. So it causes a bit more urgency for us to follow up on BJ or Jamie or Reese, or what will be, probably might get into doing some of them as well. So it pushes us to be a bit more aggressive on our technicians to get those issues addressed. There's been problems with the Munisoft program and server. We replaced the hardware. The hardware tests fine. There's absolutely nothing on any sort of our reporting that would indicate that there's a problem with the hardware. But we realized that there was some software changes that needed to be moved because we're going from really old version to new version. And I think Teresa, you and I spoke on Friday. We're escalating it. I'm going to follow up with Munisoft and make sure that that's resolved. And we're going to keep a little bit more aggressive on our technicians. I think the problem is that they called in for help desk and they just got the other help desk help desk to help desk, neither of them wants to make it their problem. They just want to push it away. So we're going to step in and get a bit more aggressive. But other than that, I will give the last few minutes. I'm not going to worry about the Datto backup check. I can just assure you that we do check those every day, and that the Datto cloud encrypted backups are running fine. Everything is good. If the whole building burnt down, God forbid, we could have you up and running over at the skating rink within an hour.
Perfect.
We get machines out there. It takes 13 minutes, Dad's last test, to get a place up and running. So that means we could literally jump in the car with machines, with laptops, and get you up and running wherever in an hour. Seems a little bit superhero. I'd say it's more like a half-day thing. But the reality is, if it was that big emergency, we could get going in a very short time. So that's where we're at, and we expect to have a higher score again next quarter. And I think that Teresa and I had a pretty good couple of calls last week where we're gonna drill down and just get the last little loose ends, the T's crossed and the I's dotted. So are there any questions for us?
Anybody got any comments? Sounds good, thank you very much. It sounds like things are moving ahead. Good enough. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and again, like I said, I think that these meetings are a lot more to keep our ass in line, because it's more of a report card on what we're getting done with you guys. But, I was always wanted to do well in school and come home and bring my report card. My brother was always tapping at my arm because his wasn't so good. So we'll keep in touch with everybody. If anybody's got questions along the way, feel free. Any of you can call us at Braddock Computers. Ask for Dawn. They'll put you through to my extension, or sometimes I'm actually covering at the store. So good. 9:39. We're actually rolling right into 9:40. So I'll let you get back on time with your agenda. Teresa, you and I have a meeting with DJ tomorrow morning at 10:30.
That's right.
And I'm going every Tuesday at 10:30 for 15 minutes or less.
You bet.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Great, thanks very much. Have a good week. That was a good one. Thanks for that, Teresa, that's good.
Thank you.
If you're happy, we're happy.
You know what? We were having lots of troubles, to be honest, and I did phone him Friday and I said, I'm fed up. This has to be fixed. You told us it would fix, and it hasn't fixed. I need results. So he's been good. They're on it hard now, so that's good.
Time's money.
Well, I told him, I said, I did better on my own contacting Municipality, and that bothered him.
E-commerce is the world.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are you gonna port over our emails too,
Yes,
eventually?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine, there's something,
Yep.
I need to know that answer, so I don't bug them.
Yeah, it hadn't been discussed prior, so it's something that I talked to DJ about, so
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Thank you.
We use them with the planning district.
Do you?
What kind of VPN?
Recording in progress.
Sorry,
That's good.
okay.
Okay, we move along with finance for till planning here. Resolution 55, 2024, be it resolved that the financial statement for March 2024 be referred to council. We have a mover, please. Alice, seconder.
Malcolm.
No. Anybody got any question on the financial statement for 2024? It's attached. Seeing nobody's hands going up? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
And Teresa, thank you for getting this a lot more organized.
You're welcome. It's taken some time.
Resolution 56, 2024, be it resolved that the accounts check number 30352 to check number 30519 totaling $672,496.17. And direct deposits, withdrawals totaling $52,858.44. We approve for payment. Can we have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Sharon, seconder.
Grant.
Yeah. Attached, if anybody has any questions. What I thought they were. No questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much. Continue on here, I guess. There we go, general business. Resolution 62, 2024, be it resolved, the council agreed to temporarily withdraw $300,000 from the general reserve to cover operating expense to be replenished prior to year end. We have a mover, please. Alice, seconder.
Malcolm.
Malcolm. Any question? That's just to cover for us to keep on operating here.
We don't have to have a hearing to do that?
No, I actually did get a hold of municipal relations because that was the original thought behind it. And first it was yes, and then they got back to me again later and they said, you know what, you don't have to make a resolution. It makes no sense to be paying interest elsewhere when you have the money, so.
So that streamlined that process.
Yeah, I got the
Okay.
approval from Ben Lyle and
No, that's good.
that's, yes.
All question then, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much. Resolution 63, 2024, be it resolved the council agreed to transfer the cell number of CAO Teresa Parker to the municipality's Bell corporate account in replacement of a monthly reimbursement. Can I have a mover, please?
Grant.
Grant, seconder.
Homestead.
Dallas, you want to explain that, Teresa?
I mean, you guys are paying me $50 a month for my phone. Obviously, we do have that CAO cell phone, but I would much rather just carry one. You reimburse right now at $50 a month. Our plans are $30 a month, so it's cheaper there. And then the thought is to take that CAO phone, or what we labeled as CAO phone before, and use it as an emergency phone for water specifically, or any other issues that may happen, and then maybe share between myself and Matt taking it home. And I don't mind taking it home, whatever, but at least we have that emergency phone number for, especially for utility.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's
That
our
makes
biggest.
sense.
That's huge. Yep.
Any other questions?
Scroll down to municipal.
Yes, we should. Thank you. That's a good idea.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, everybody. Resolution 64, 2024, be it resolved the council agreed to increase the wage of manager of leisure services, Kelly Sudak, to $60,000 annually, retroactive to July 30th, 2023, until 1 month following the start date of a new Parks and Rec working foreman, to recognize the increased workload while short a staff position. And further be it resolved that the cost be shared 50-50 between the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford and the town of Carberry. We have a mover, please.
Homestead.
Dallas, seconder.
Malcolm.
Any comments, questions, concerns? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 65, 2024, be it resolved the council write off accounts. You can see the numbers on the left-hand side here. $20,751 was revenue, 2011 $79 is expense, $700 expense, 50 cents revenue, $273.58 expense, 938.47 and 938.47, I'm not sure what they were, Teresa.
Doubled up.
Okay. 3,088.79 revenue, 361 expense, and 259.18 expense. We have a mover, please? Harold, seconder?
Davidson.
Jaren? Any questions on any of them? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 66, 2024, be it resolved that council approve financial officer Shauna Creasy to apply to the University of Manitoba and start the administrative course at a cost of $790. Can I have a mover, please?
Right.
Grant, seconder.
Malcolm.
Malcolm. As part of her education along the way. Anybody have any questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 67, 2024, be it resolved that council approve financial officer Shauna Creasy to complete the mandatory Unisoft training consisting of 6 courses at a discount rate of $1,155. Can we have a mover, please? Alice, seconder.
Davidson.
Sharon. Other course, anybody got any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Still got 10 minutes, we can finish another page.
That was early today.
Resolution 68, 2024. Be it resolved the council hire Rain Pryor as general meeting reporter for 3 months on a trial basis for the months of January to March at $150 per month. We have a mover, please.
Malcolm.
Malcolm, seconder.
Harold.
Harold. Any questions on that?
General reporter is where's will he be publishing or what's happening there?
So she's doing the minutes up for us because she's here all the time anyways. And it eases a lot of time from my schedule. So that was discussed at last meeting.
So she's just she's not really
She does the minutes.
does the
Just does the
but
minutes.
Not a write-up.
Not a write-out for.
She can if that's what you prefer. So she's just doing exactly what we did before at this point.
She just does her minutes
I
up for
did
sure.
just confused when it says reporter. Should she not be just? Would there not be a better term for that? Like when you say reporter, you immediately assume like a journalist.
That's probably true too, yeah.
Could have like recorder.
Yep, we could do recorder.
I think that would be
Sure.
a better way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea, Harold, thank you.
Yeah, then there's less confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it reporter?
You're okay with that wording, Malcolm?
I'm fine with that.
You're
Thank
okay
you.
with
Okay with
that?
that?
All right, no, good choice,
Okay.
good choice.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much, thanks, Harold. Resolution 69, 2024, be it resolved that council approve the purchase of an additional 4,500 yards gravel at the P. Baker Pit at a cost of $450 per yard for a total of $20,250 plus GST. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Aaron, seconder.
Grant,
Grant.
this is for the range, huh?
It was up there in the pit and available for us, so Pat gave us a decent price. We're gonna need it anyway,
Blue
so.
Star gave us a decent price. They gave us last year's rate on
To
it.
crush it.
Yeah, because he had done it already. It was sitting there, so he offered it to us first.
Oh, so this is just an extra.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
need it.
This is not for a
We'll
project.
need it,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Any questions, any more? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Rain makes green.
Resolution 70, 2024, be it resolved that council sponsor the Beautiful Plains Community Foundation Golf Tournament as a platinum sponsor at a cost of $500. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Who wants it? Jeremy. Seconder by
Sure.
Dallas. Any questions on that?
This is a new one then?
Nope.
No, we won't. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 71, 2024, be it resolved that council approve the purchase of rock glass for 3 greater doors and the tractor window guards at a cost of $4,352.29, taxes included. Have a mover, please.
Malcolm.
Harold, seconder Malcolm.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? This is good quality glass and it doesn't break near as easy as the other stuff. And that's a good move, I think. So,
Matt did his homework, it sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good.
any more questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
Break's gonna speed up things too. So
Resolution 72, 2024, be it resolved that council approve Reeve Ray Drayson and CIO Teresa Parker to attend the Manitoba Good Roads Association 2024 Annual Awards Banquet at the Clarion Hotel and Suites in Brandon, Manitoba, to accept our award on April 9th, 2024 at a cost of $65 per person. We have a mover, please.
Grant,
Grant, seconder.
Malcolm.
Malcolm. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 73, 2024, be it resolved that council approve the purchase of a new double-walled 1,000-liter fuel tank for the shop east of Depot at a cost of $5,700. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Jern, seconder.
Malcolm.
Malcolm. Any question? Just
Good.
part of the safety protocol, what we gotta go through, and
inflation sure drove that price up. We just go on too.
any other questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 74, 2024. Be it resolved that council approve the purchase of personal first aid kits for each vehicle and shop, eye wash station and eye wash station additives for a total of $1,246.81 plus taxes. We have a mover, please. Dallas, seconder. Harold. Something we have to have, so any other questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
You're gonna get through your whole meeting by the time you get to
Yeah, we're gonna be done and you won't be able to get to, no, just kidding.
I put it, this is added to agenda, but it's not really added to agenda. I can report on it if you want. You can do safety meeting.
just throw their bones on.
The boys had a safety meeting the other morning, and I phoned them up and they were all going, so I went and had a coffee and talked to them, and they did their safety report thing. They went over 3 issues, grinders and just different equipment they have in the shop and how to safely do it. Sam initiated it and started it and went through it and did a very good job. I was very impressed with what they did there. It was kind of nice to see. They're talking once every 3 months.
So once every month.
Once every month, going through 3 different items each time and continuing on. And it was a good deal.
Yeah, they're once every month and they'll go over their items. It's fantastic
Good.
to get them all on board. And they'll do trying to plan the first week of every month.
Yep.
So it'll be before council meetings, so I've asked them to prepare just something little saying what they've done and
Yeah,
keep
no,
it
we
on,
went,
keep it on track.
we went through those. I was there for half an hour and then I left and then they got to talk about me, so. We don't report
Perfect.
on that part of it.
They're talking about you, they're leaving everyone else
Yeah, I know,
alone.
that's good. No, it was a good deal, very good. I thought they did a good job, so.
Excellent.
Other than that, communications there, everybody's had a chance to look through all of those.
A few things. Answers.
fire when we were able to get the building caught up here, Teresa?
So the fire inspection, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I've hired someone to come do the furnace is what we need to get done.
Yep.
And we also have 2
Those
GFCI
outlets.
plugs
Yep.
that need done as well, and he's coming Friday. So that'll be done, and then we'll just do our monthly reports, make sure our checklists are done. Yeah, ultimately, it wasn't that bad. He said there was lots to do, but there really isn't. Just our monthly checkups are
Well, I just saw those couple of things, so I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, nope, they're on the go.
Another one there, that Yellowhead board, but they're looking for a steering head committee. Would like one person from the municipality to sit on that, just for information to bring back to councils. Anybody interested, or you want to name somebody, or what do you like? You want to go on that, Jared?
What's that on,
It's-
sorry?
Pardon me?
What is that on?
That was on that Yellowhead board steering committee meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Jared, if you can't go, find me a message.
Yep.
They've got a meeting, what is it, 21st of April or something like that?
Yeah. It's
Something
in
like that. If you don't mind, that'd be great. Anybody else got any comments on any of those?
There's a drainage application, is there any comment we need to provide for that?
We have to provide it to her, apparently.
Okay,
You betcha.
you're gonna be discussing that one then?
I haven't seen it yet,
Oh,
but
okay, so when it comes, we'll do, okay.
yeah, typically what happens with, we consider them in the same bracket as road crossings.
Right.
So we review them, ensure that there isn't any additional work. And as long as there isn't a road crossing application attached to the tile drainage, we do a small application just to have on file. And then there's the requirement that they provide all the documentation that they've contacted landowners and that sort of thing, and that's part of your, you have an internal policy that deals with infrastructure for road crossings as well as tile drainage.
And Harold and I usually review
You betcha.
once
Yeah.
it's forward.
Yeah.
So would it normally go to you?
So
Prior
typically,
to
yeah,
the-
it'll come to the municipality and
I
then you
haven't
guys
checked
just
it
kick it
yet.
off my way.
That's my problem.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, and again,
Oh,
it's,
no.
they, Precision Land knows better. They usually send me a copy as well.
Okay,
But typically, if there isn't a road crossing, there isn't a lot to do with it, so.
okay,
But I can have that done up and sent off to your road committee right away, so.
thank you.
Okay, saying that, it's 10 o'clock. Rachel, you're up.
Do you want me down that way, or can I just slide over here?
Right here.
Come on in.
I got a lot of stuff, so.
If you want, I can back up so you can get the camera.
Don't drop them all.
Okay, they're all elastic together.
You're not gonna wait for me that easy.
Oh, jeez.
Wouldn't be the first or the last couple I dropped. So.
Try not to scratch my nose this time.
Before we get started, are you here in attendance of one of the public hearings?
Nope.
No, okay, perfect.
As a resident.
Okay. Do you want to discuss the Brookdale Holdings project before we go into the public hearing, or would you like to go right into the public hearing?
Do the Brookdale Holdings one now, get it done.
Perfect, it's really short and sweet. There's no information.
Wow.
Nothing from the province, nothing from Conservation, Climate, Parks and Development, or whatever Sustainable Development's name is. Nothing. I haven't even heard from the applicant, so hopefully there is some movement there, because we're getting closer and closer to spring and thaw, and when they should really be hitting the ground if they are going to be granted any sort of approvals. But again, we'll hold off and wait for that until we hear back from the province. Short and sweet.
Basically, the
Government's holding everything up. They are not going to provide comments, basically until the municipality provides comment, and obviously we've already, addressed that and told them that we're not providing, or the municipality's not providing comment until they do. So.
I had a roadside conversation with the applicant, they're getting it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I don't fault them at all. It would be in their best interest to start applying pressure to the province to hear back from those departments.
That's information on the way.
You betcha. I will reach out to the applicant and have that discussion with them as well. And I'll try to get on the phone again with
think
my
you-
contacts to see what we can get moving there.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Rachel.
Do you want to open the public hearing?
Do we even have a resolution? You've got all your lawyers and all that.
They didn't put it in here.
Just have to add a 57 or 57A.
Didn't save.
Growing pains, gotta love that time.
How do we word it there, Rachel or Teresa?
It resolved.
Good start.
Council. Adjourn the regular meeting.
Yep.
I didn't even think to look at the, you know, I reviewed your resolutions on the content, but I didn't
Yeah,
even think about
resolutions, yeah.
the opening and closing of the public hearing. So. Because we're doing back to back to back for all three of them, you can just open
Just
the
one.
one
Yep.
for all
Yeah.
three of them.
So be it resolved, the council adjourn the regular meeting to deal with
At 10:04. To deal with planning matters. We have a mover for that resolution. Malcolm, seconder, Harold. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? All that carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, now you can go ahead, Rachel.
Perfect. Okay, so the first item to address is variation order number 2 for North Cypress-Langford, so VO2-24-NCL. So this is the variation order attached to the Spence subdivision. Now, the property is owned under a number company, but I will not be referring to it as the number company. I will be referring to it as Mr. Spence. The number company is 6998986 Manitoba Limited. So this is to address lot 7, which is that, if you remember from the original subdivision application, we have that small lot down at the corner of the extension of the existing road, so bottom left-hand corner. It isn't 5 acres. So now that we've gone through the rezoning with our new zoning bylaw, everything else fits into the nice 5-acre parcels. This parcel in question is 4.13 acres. So again, just going to vary it down and allow for it through our zoning bylaw to make it compliant. So this is the last step for this subdivision, and we had been kind of waiting for that new zoning bylaw to roll through. So we at the planning district haven't had any comment or questions from any of the adjacent landowners, and they were all notified through the Planning Act's correspondence requirements. The senior municipality also hasn't heard anything back. Again, very typical. We don't normally hear any questions or comments. We did. Oh, I shouldn't say that. We had one resident reach out. There was some confusion. She thought we were going to be amending her lot down to 4 acres, which again, not what we were doing. So just some confusion there. So.
Okay, anybody got any more questions, comments on that then? Thank you, Rachel. Continue on to VO 124, Earl and Carolyn Barron.
You betcha. So these are actually some really old applications. This subdivision was originally conducted in 2019. And what has happened is through COVID and through the timelines to now, we've already addressed it once, but they didn't act on it quick enough. So we all know conditional use orders, variation orders have a 12-month timeline on them, and if you don't act upon them, they expire. Now, they didn't reach out, or their legal counsel didn't reach out to extend the variation order, the conditional use order through an extension, so they actually lapsed, so we're just back again. So this, like I said, this is an old subdivision, so some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. Does everyone know where Earl and Barron is? Yes, they. Legal name is Gay. Yeah. So we'll go that route. So yeah, all my documentation is kind of slightly wrong because they've used some wrong names.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure.
So again, it's Southeast 261015. It is adjacent to town here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
way,
Southwest.
over here.
It is a typical subdivision that we see, so it's the conditional use order, which is obviously the first hearing we have to enter into with this one, is to establish the rural non-farm dwelling site, and then we are burying the rural non-farm dwelling site down. So we are going, oh no, we're not. So they have an existing well, and the well is actually from the property line, it's only 58 feet. So any sort of infrastructure, we have to be set back from the front property line by 125 feet. So we're addressing the conditional use order to establish it, and in the variation order to allow for the proximity to front property line. So, yeah, were there any questions? Again, the original variation orders were done in and conditional use were done in 2021, and they were approved, and there were no comments back then. We have no comments or concerns from any of the adjacent landowners now.
So this will finalize it.
You betcha. So again, like I said, there were some delays during COVID, and then there was some growing pains with. They were granted some extensions on their conditional approval application, which is that formal document granting approval, and then they have their conditions. These ones just lapsed because obviously we're here again. So. Nothing too spectacular.
Any questions, comments, anybody?
How big is the subdivision?
Subdivision, so 6.12 acres. So again, this application has gone through now 2 different zoning bylaws, and there was, because of where the location is and because of the requirements we had at the time, they weren't required to do any sort of varying for sizing. So we've only kept the original documentation that they needed from their original conditional approval application. So it has not been reviewed to your new zoning bylaw, and again, that's because the requirements at the time to grant the approvals were different. So going forward, any new subdivisions are held to a different standard. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got for that one.
Good, for both of those two?
You betcha.
Elmhurst subdivision.
So that one is for discussion purposes only. I'm not sure, would you like to close out your public hearing, or we?
Yep.
Yeah, so the last variation, or the variation order we had for Barron was their public hearing opened at 10:10, so, or that's the timeline we put. So I guess we could discuss Elmhurst if you'd like, and then kind of leave it open just in case we do have anyone who arrives that would like to discuss it. So what's happened is we've had an application roll through into the planning district from Corey Elmhurst about subdividing some land off of his, he's got some land that's, I would not have deemed it arable farmland. What he's wanting to subdivide out is about 40 acres of bush pasture. So what has happened is, because the planning district has relinquished signing authority on the subdivisions, he's sent his application into community planning, and it has been rejected. Or not rejected, that's the wrong terminology, I should refrain from that. So they have advised him that he should potentially withdraw his application because they don't feel it meets the development plan, or the Cypress Planning District's development plan. Now, Corey had said he might try to come to the meeting today.
He wasn't well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, not perfect, but I didn't want to proceed if he was going to be here. So we have some pretty strict requirements on what we allow for an agricultural subdivision. Typically, they're yard sites for aging family members, or they're yard sites that are not actively involved in the farm. Because this is bare land, it becomes a little bit more tricky. So when we talk to the other commenting agents from the province who would provide comment on a subdivision, the agricultural department can be quite sticky when it comes to farmland. I do have some mapping, and you can see, I'll pass it around. You can see that it really isn't usable farmland, and what he's looking to do is he's looking to cut about 40 acres out of this bottom bushland here. I'll send those around if you guys wanted to look at them. From my standpoint, reviewing, and again, the development plan is our document, the planning district's document. I don't see how it doesn't meet the requirements for a subdivision. So basically, we have A through F, realignment of farm boundaries around rivers, streams, drains, etc. residential sites for retiring farmers, residential site for a home required by an individual participating in farm management. So obviously if we have the younger generation stepping in, banks won't give them a mortgage attached to farmland for their home. They have to subdivide that parcel out. Existing farmyard, which is no longer required. So where I thought this would fit in was for land holdings for small scale or specialized agricultural operations such as apiaries, greenhouses, and nurseries. So again, we talk about small land holdings. This is 40 acres. We could easily vary it down. Typical agricultural land is 80 acres, and we vary anything down. So 40 acres is, in my mind, close enough to 80 that it should be an allowable cut. Now, with that being said, Mr. Elmhurst is not looking to do anything agricultural with it other than pasturing of livestock, potentially for lease. But unfortunately, in our development plan, when we talk about livestock operations, the pasturing of animal, because the manure quantities are dispersed into the land and there isn't a collection of them, pasturing isn't considered a livestock operation, which again is, I wasn't part of this document, but I disagree with that. Yeah. So he's applied to the province, and they have told him that they would, if it proceeds, they would strongly suggest that at council table, you reject the application or deny the application. So I am of the understanding that this, to me, meets the requirements for the type of subdivision he is looking at, and from my documentation, even though technically pasturing of livestock doesn't mean a livestock operation, I disagree. Yeah. So my recommendation to Mr. Elmhurst is to apply anyways. Mm-hmm. Now he runs the risk of applying and sinking the subdivision costs, or the survey cost, which is the subdivision application map, as well as the $510 application fee to the province. He runs the risk of applying anyways and losing that if it's not approved through all parties. So your table is obviously where it has to go to first. Well, it would come to the planning district for comment, and I would strongly recommend that my board provide the same comment that I'm providing now. That a variation order to reduce it from 80 to 40 was put in place, and then we would proceed into having it go to council. So at this point, it's just to give everyone a heads up that this is coming, because it will show up at your table with strong wording from the province to reject said subdivision. Now again, I've already explained this to Mr. Elmhurst, that he runs the risk of applying anyways and not getting a subdivision out of the deal. But again, I just didn't want it to hit council table with a bunch of red flags from the province if North Cypress-Langford wasn't potentially agreeable to it. And again, we can't have you speak positively or negatively against the project, simply for your information coming forward. So
I'd be very curious to see how this plays out, because there was a gentleman up in my ward who specifically was trying to do something very similar to this. It was a smaller parcel, and they got refused. With your predecessor, he wouldn't push it through. So I would really like to see it. I'm curious to see how this would play out, to be honest, for another resident's benefit, because it was a very similar situation.
Yeah. Well, the thing I find the most frustrating is the province doesn't want to allow the 40-acre cut if it's not attached to a yard site, if it's kept simply agricultural in nature. And again, pasturing of animals is not technically considered livestock or a livestock operation from the development plan. To me, 40 acres of bush pasture is not usable, knowing the third-party sale is going to be for arable farmland. So why not? Like, it's not like we're creating, there is no desire for rural residential, and obviously if we were doing rural residential, we would know about it, and there would be a lot of things that we would have to do in front to get it to a spot where we would even discuss it. To me, cutting out 40 acres of bush pasture, knowing that there's going to be some lease for pasturing of animals, and somewhere down the lines he might develop it into a yard site for his retirement. There's always that potential, but 40 acres is less desirable for someone to come in, purchase it, bulldoze it clear to usable farmland or usable land for a rural residential. So I'm not worried about that, which is where the province tends to lean as soon as they see anything that's not 80, that there's the potential to clear it out. Like the road doesn't even go right to it, the municipal road, so like there's lots of things that could be done, but I'm not overly worried about it. So my recommendation to the applicant is to apply anyways and to see what happens. Now
So
again,
are you saying he just wants to subdivide the 40 acres and just keep it just the 40 acres?
Yeah.
Like, you're not talking about another subdivision?
No.
Or development?
no, so basically what's happening here is he would like to subdivide 40 acres because the purchaser would like 120.
Right.
They'd like the arable farmland.
I was confused at first.
Yeah.
I thought you meant there was gonna be another development going.
No, so he would like to keep it, he hunts the land.
Yeah.
And I think what's happened here is during his application process, there is a small portion of, why are you looking to subdivide? And there was some mentioning of keeping it for hunting, which puts it into recreational purposes, and the potential for bringing in third parties for hunting purposes, which is not his design intent. Obviously, and again, I'm speaking on my own behalf as someone who lives in the rural area, we hunt our land. So that was the wrong terminology that he used during the application. You betcha, yeah, so it becomes recreational, and then that also spurs the province into a bit of a tizzy, but yeah, the design intent is not to do anything with it. The design, he doesn't even want to enter into an agreement with the municipality to open up the road to it.
Okay.
But I did tell him that if that potentially could be a condition from the municipality, that if he takes the 40 acres out, there, access to it, if there's any design intent, obviously he can get cattle there because he's already got the potential lease with someone else to pasture the animals there. But yeah, there's no development design there, so.
So the actual land use will not change?
It will not change. It will remain agricultural. Yeah, no, there is, like I said, there's no design intent to do anything with it. He wants to keep some land outside of town, and he wants to be able to hunt the area and
back 40.
You betcha. Well, and that's the thing. Like, if he took all of the bush pasture that is kind of encompassed in this one area, it's 62 acres. So if he doesn't necessarily want the 62 acres, because again, the third-party sale that he's got lined up, they want the arable farmland and a bit of bush themselves, so they want 120. So.
Okay, thank you very much for that then.
So when you see it, because I'm under the impression he's going to not withdraw the application, it will come to your desk or your tables eventually for discussion. So, like I said, it'll be reviewed a few times. I spoke with the province and with community planning and kind of explained that we viewed it a little bit differently from the planning district. And again, as a cattle person myself, right, pasturing of livestock is. I understand that it's about a livestock operation, but it's also an essential application for agricultural land. And we don't have a lot of bush pasture up this way that is being maintained.
Like an asset if they actually want to keep pasture.
For sure. Well, and that's the thing.
Just
yeah, I would hate for them to sell it all and have that bush pasture removed.
Right? Yeah.
So that's where that stands.
Thank you. Be it resolved that council adjourn their public hearing to continue the regular council meeting at 10:20. We have a mover, please. Grant. Seconder. Sharon. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Mel. What time's the other one? 10:30?
30, yeah.
Got a couple of minutes here?
Yep.
Resolution 57, 2024, be it resolved that council approve the variation order VO 224 NCL for 6998986 Manitoba Limited, Jamie Spence, owner of the property, legally described as PT Northwest 41115 WPM in the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford, and located roughly 5 miles west of the intersection of Highways 1 and 5, adjacent to Municipal Road 88 West, to reduce the minimum parcel size of 5 acres to a minimum of 4.13 acres for Lot 7 in the RR5 Rural rural estate residential zone to allow for the establishment of a multi-lot rural subdivision, residential subdivision. Can I have a mover, please?
Homestead, good job.
Seconder, please. Harold. Any questions with that after I mumbled through it?
Nope.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Resolution 58, 2024. Be it resolved that council approve the conditional use order number CO124 NCL for Earl and Carolyn Barron, owners of property legally described as for PT Southeast 261015 WPM in the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford and located southwest of Carberry along Municipal Road 58 North to establish a rural non-farm dwelling site in an AL Agricultural Limited Zone. Can I have a mover, please? Grant, seconder. Malcolm. Any questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 59, 2024. Be it resolved the council approve the variation order number B0124 NCL for Earl and Carolyn Barron, owners of property legally described as PT Southeast 261015 WPM in the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford and located southwest of Carberry along Municipal Road 58 North to remedy the current non-conforming location of a potable water well serving the existing yard in the AL Agricultural Limited Zone from a maximum front yard setback of 125 feet to a maximum front yard setback of 58 feet. Can I have a mover, please? Dal, a seconder. Harold? Any questions, anybody? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. The next two will be tabled again.
You betcha, you don't have to read
Not going to, they're too long.
them. I always try to pare down the resolutions, but we have put so much legal content in there that they get quite
noticed.
lengthy.
He was blaming me, so thanks for taking
You
it.
should know better. You should see some of our resolutions at planning meetings. And again, once we hear back, I will provide more comments on those two resolutions for Brooktown Holdings, but until then, I agree that tabling these for further discussion is the really only kind of real option you guys have.
Is that Conks thing a Zoom one or what is it?
It is.
Want to take 5 minutes before it starts up here, everybody? 1 minute?
So are they coming in
No, it'll be
on Zoom again?
something Zoho, actually.
Oh. Geez, they've got a lot of different.
They do. This is gonna get for some reason.
Okay, so before I add anything else,
Can you hear them, or
I'm
can
going
they?
to find out what they meant.
Yeah,
Like,
you can.
Just through it
yeah,
here again.
and then I'll send it to you, and then you can answer the question.
sure,
That's
okay.
awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you for that,
Thanks.
because that's definitely something we need to discuss.
Okay, great, thanks.
Can you hear us on the Zoom meeting there? Guess not.
Are you able to hear us?
Yes, I hear you quite well, and I'm here with Vince as well. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm doing something wrong, so just keep going and we can hear you.
Well, I'll tell you what we see. We see, you're really cool panels. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, yes.
6, 7 or 8 of you, and then at the bottom it shows 3 of you sitting separately. So,
Yeah, we're all in the same place.
Yep.
boy, probably. Yeah, do you have one of those owl things or something?
We
right?
do, we do.
So, are we, or do you want us to wait? You still
No,
waiting
go
for something
ahead.
No,
here?
go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Vince. Again, I'm the louder of the two of us, and so just a few questions. What we want to do is that Kim will bring up just kind of a map of testimonial clients. Then there's a 3-minute video that talks about road graders and their operation, all the things it does. Admittedly, it's pretty much the same functionality and benefits for the mowers. From what Kim's reminded me, that we talked to you guys a year ago, something fairly similar to this, and at the time the budget didn't allow it. Even though we provided you a document at the time that we talked, we said, look, walk before you run. Seeing you're getting a lot of damage from mowers, either the culverts or the equipment itself, it was pretty easy to justify, because our equipment, which it'll explain to you, that the buzzer goes off so you don't damage it. So we appreciate the opportunity once again. Kim had said that your budget isn't until May, and you have some level of interest. Can I ask you, we do 20 some odd pieces of equipment for municipalities. Is your interest more in the mowers because of what it does and monitors and prevents damage? Or is it, and you have 2 of those, I think, or is it more along the 6 road graders, or both? Just so that we know, I don't want to take too much of your time. Or do you just want us to talk quickly about both?
Just talk quickly about both of them there, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, this is where somebody talks.
Oh, sorry, just talk quickly about both of them, our counselor says, or Reeve says.
Okay, so if, with your permission, Kim's gonna pull up the actual presentation. That's why we don't have a camera here, because mostly we just do it by the presentation itself. And again, when we get to the video, it's only 3 minutes long with a happy, smiley guy. Do you see a green map in front of you, at least?
Yes.
Are we there?
Yep.
Okay, what this map is something we're just proud of and like to show off. Every single bubble represents a municipal government client. Because we're in Saskatchewan, we started here. So if you look, there are 296 rural municipalities in Saskatchewan, a huge number. 2/3 of them are our clients. Every bubble represents somebody being a client with the solution we provided. Kim will send this to you after, and in a written form. Every bubble that has a number, which is lots of them, 1, 2, 3, or 4, these are actually testimonials that from all of them that are saying good things of how our system has helped them. The list that Kim will provide you will show the municipality or city or town, and it has the person's name and their comments. We encourage you to, if you want to, contact them. Manitoba, we probably have about 25%. We're working that way in Ontario and Alberta as well, but everybody says the same sort of thing. With that said, I'd like to move on to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark, a representative at Connex Wireless. As you may have heard me say in previous videos, everyone involved within the municipality routinely needs to do more with less, do better with what they have, and the best decisions they can with what they know. Here at Connex Wireless, we have developed a one system in the solution approach that provides solutions to improve all these daily challenges in the collecting of data. To begin with, one of our latest industry-first innovations is road segment analytics. A segment is a section of road between 2 intersections. We collect all road maintenance activities in each segment and enable you to view these activities based on the date range you choose. Mapping in tables, each and every segment is marked with number of roadwork maintenance visits, type of maintenance performed, number of vehicles involved, total distance maintained, collective operational cost, and total time of road maintenance performed. Now, this unprecedented data collection is invaluable. It's time to evaluate performance, review how on track you are, just the budget, including next year's budget. As for government grant assistance, accurate fact reporting will help you get approvals. Next, we provide you with the inverse of this activity data. We can show you all the roads that have not received road servicing. Now, this can be a very powerful tool for your operation. By seeing these particular not-service road segments, you can more easily plan future road work activities, see the historical data when work was last performed, interpret these rows as in good condition, no work required, see work that was missed, and incorrectly reported as completed. We also give you a host of other methods to know what you don't know, such as red line, blue line. When you view our historical map, red line indicates vehicle travel, and a blue line shows when and where work was being performed, such as grader blade down, highway mower cutting, weed sprayer operating, sand spreader, gravel jumping, etc. Snow-cleared map, color-coded route maps with public accessibility provide both public safety and transparency. Ratepayers and school bus operations have direct access to road conditions, providing greater confidence before starting their road traveling day. Show me the money. See the cost, distance, and time of road work by road segment, date range, operator, equipment type, and area, and compare this with your existing budget. Scheduled weekly and monthly dashboard and customer reports are emailed to those that need to know. You get all the information you need hands-on and hassle-free. And all of this data is exportable in both Excel and CSV formats added to your existing municipal software. You are encouraged to watch each of our more detailed live product videos to learn the benefits available to your municipal operation. I invite you to contact us at 306-979-890.
Well, you don't have to phone us. You already got us. So, if I may, there's just a few more slides that actually talk about the device and so on. And then I'd like to just for us to talk about this. In this case, this is an existing client with an overlay of the municipality map. They wanted this instead of the Google map so they can see their stuff. And this is just a screenshot, it's zoomable. But in their case, they have several things. They have 2 of our water fills would happen to show up, bulk water fill sites, and they have a bunch of our graders. When you click on it, it shows the current data, the time, the date, where they are, the blades up, so they're moving right now, but they are not, performing like snow or gravel work on it. On here, there's a more detailed version of a different place. The red line indicates that the grader in this case is moving, but their blade is up. All the places that show blue means that their blade is down and they're doing something with it. To Kim and I, it doesn't mean much, but to a foreman, it kind of gives you an idea. Every foreman wants to see way more blue than they do the red, and maybe there's just specific areas that they were told to go work on, but at least you can see exactly what they're doing in their operation. This is a much bigger version that you can't see much at the top, but there's a series of like 6 vehicles, and you can click on each one of these individual vehicles, but basically this is over a time frame that every color is a different grader. So you can see what roads, not where they travel, but actually with the blade down. So in one snapshot over a period of time, you can see what the heck the work has been done. Now, to make a comment that we have for a dozen years, we do GPS fleet tracking. We still perform that for thousands of people, but municipalities need more than just GPS tracking that just simply shows where the guy has been. And it can't be speed-based because the guy could be going 10 kilometers an hour eating a ham sandwich but not really doing his job. What we provide is knowing whether the blade was down or the mower blade was in operation, and you'd see exactly the same thing. If you're able to zoom into this, if it was either a grader or the mower, you would see the line that purple line. You zoomed in, it would show maybe 3 lines because the guy went down that road for 3 passes. May that be ditch cutting the grass, or may that be on the road. So you can see everything, not just where he was traveling. This was that thing Mark was talking about. It took us 2 years to build this. We were asked to do this. This actually shows, and I can't zoom in because again, it's an image. You zoomed in, I'll show you on the next screen. This shows in a period of time from May 1st to the end of the year, how many visits there were of work being performed. 6, 9, 12, whatever. But it shows, when we go to it, it'll show the actual, what vehicles were there, how long, how many kilometers, and the frequency of it. And at the bottom, it shows you all this stuff. And this is that thing, the things you don't know. Right now, don't know. Most commonly, you get your operators to maybe write down what they did for the day. Maybe they draw with a crayon on the back side of the map, and then you don't really look at it. It goes to a drawer. This shows you actually all the work that was performed. And if you have your costing, if you know that a manned vehicle costs $125 an hour or by kilometer, you can enter this stuff in once and you'll be able to see how good you are with your budget. How much have you used so far? How much do you have left? And you don't have to do a darn thing. Here's a zoomed in version that's still clickable that shows that this section of road here, this 1 mile by 1 mile and north-south is 2, that this was serviced twice. And if we clicked on it, you can see the details of that. These are the zeros. These are the roads that have not been done in that period of time. Maybe because they didn't need to be done, maybe they were missed, maybe something else is going on. But at least you'll be able to know what is happening. This is the cool thing. This is included for free. This is that snow removal map that is accessible without an app. You can put it on your web page, and anybody, I want to see to make sure it's safe for my daughter to travel on the highway for university. This map is color coded, 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and so on, up to 72 hours. And it's updated every hour. So if I care about the most current, I would see that the 0 to 4 hours, the fuchsia or pink, it shows those have been done most recently. And now for school buses or anybody else. Anybody that phones your office right now and asks you when roads are clear, chances are you can't even answer it because you don't have this data. Now they don't even have to phone you. You can actually see this. And as council members, which you typically wouldn't log in to look at stuff, you guys can look at this anytime you want to see the current conditions of what's been done, summer or winter. There's a bunch of different charts here. This was from September 1st to January 25th, and it's showing each of the months and the cost of doing that section of this roads, the service, how much it cost, and the time frame. It lists a bunch of stuff. Not something you'd look at daily, but you should look at this to figure out what the heck your guys have been doing. This is a similar but laid out differently. This shows industry averages. Most RMs ask us, they don't know if their guys are performing like a bell curve at school. Are they doing what your guys are doing? Are they doing better than everybody else, less than somebody else, or an average? So this shows, IA shows that the time of this RM worked for 60 hours, but the industry average is 78. And how much of the time was spent blade down, 33 hours or 40 hours, and then the utilization. This, and these are figures for you. Are your guys spending more time traveling and the blade down? Is it a necessity, or is it that the planning could be better so that for every kilometer and every hour that your guys are actually doing more work in that time? It's data here, you do with it as you wish. Here's the device. It gets bolted, screwed onto the side of the spine or back of the grader, and this really small box, less than 6 inches, and this blue box on the front at the bottom has a laser that shoots down to the bore blade or the disc or the blade itself, and it knows whether the blade is considered up or down, and that's why you see red line or blue line. This is the cabling. Install takes about, for the first one, probably 45 minutes and less time for any other ones once they know what they're doing. A motor doesn't even have all these boxes. What happens is that all we get your guy to do is connect the one wire up to the PTO switch or the light, and that way they know when the blade is actually in motion or not, and you use that for the red line, blue line. The mower product is less money because you don't need this laser anymore. It's just a wire that hooks up. As far as the grader goes, you have to calibrate what you consider to be blade down twice a year because it's different. For summer, it's gravel, and in the winter, it's snow. So your guy, less than 2 minutes, he lowers the blade down and raises it up to what's considered minimum blade down or operating, and they push this button with a screwdriver with their finger, and it sets it. And then 6 months later, when the other season, they do the same thing. So it sets the right calibration. If you don't do this, you won't know that the blade is actually doing the right thing and they're working or not. We also have a thing that is an SOS button. This is a small box about 3 inches by 2, has a button on the thing. And this is for lone worker health and safety to make you guys compliant. Because if a guy's working on his own, you really have to make sure that you are not going to be in a litigation with an employee if something happens. This box, it buzzes every hour. When they turn the ignition on, 60 minutes later it buzzes. And it's annoying. If the guy pushes that button, it does a reset, nothing happens. If after 3 minutes that he didn't push the button, it will send a notification to your foreman and anybody else you want with a map to say this guy might be in an SOS situation. If he pushed the button and 10 minutes later he's distressed and he pushes the button manually again, it will send an SOS to say he's okay. So we built this. It's very inexpensive. This was built because we were asked to do it because most RMs are concerned about, well, their employees. And that's kind of it. A lot of stuff, a lot of info. You must have some questions, so may I ask, what would you like to know?
Anybody got any comments, concerns, questions? Malcolm?
You mentioned you had something set up for a sprayer truck. What would that entail?
Am I that good?
No, sorry, you just can't hear. Just, they're wondering, do you have something for a sprayer truck and what would that entail?
Exactly the same. We operations exactly the same. The first one I showed you was the grader that needed that laser. The second one is the mower. You don't need the laser, it just hooks up to the PTO switch. Both a sprayer and a sander also work the same way because that one wire would be connected to the PTO switch. So in the case of the sprayer, it will activate and show you where they sprayed, how long they sprayed, how much chemical they used, and so on. That device has a difference that it is in a box and there's a keypad in the front, because we can go more detail. To be clear, I'm a city boy, but what we were taught by all the rest of municipalities was that you might have different chemicals and chemical mixtures. So this small black box that's put inside the cab or outside, doesn't matter. Let's say that you have 5 different chemical mixes. Your guy would punch on his keypad 5 enter, meaning that it was Roundup or some combination. Then if he has the tank has 300 liters, he would punch 300 enter, and that's it. Now when he travels and it sprays, you guys will see where they sprayed and so on, but you also have a report that shows how much and what chemical and where it was sprayed. So you now have that for billing and what your costing was related. Additionally, I didn't know this till quite a few years ago, farmers tend to want to sue because they'll say, you guys sprayed my field and killed my crops. You guys actually have you have all this data forever, by the way. As long as you're a client, years later you can look. So they send their lawyer on you and say, you killed my field. You guys can see exactly where, and prove to them you weren't even there, or if you were there, you can show which chemicals. Additionally, you can look historically, you can click on it on, let's say from June 7th of last year, you can actually see the weather report from that area. You can see that the wind was only 6 kilometers an hour coming from the southwest, and the temperature was this, and so on. So this is something you probably wouldn't use often, but holy smokes, if a guy's gonna sue you or wanna know, you've got that. Did all my nattering answer your question?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so,
Question.
There's another question here.
some other question, please?
Our
Yep.
graders are already have two-way radios installed in them.
Do you guys do sanding, by the way? Do you do highway
Come
road
here.
sanding?
Minimal. We usually hire that out, Ashley. There's going to be, someone's just gonna come up to my computer and ask a question here.
We already have two-way radios mounted in our graders for safety. Can we get them without the dead man switch, the safety button?
because they would just be redundant.
Did you hear
Pretty sure
that?
he said that was optional.
Yeah, that's
No,
all.
we didn't hear a thing. We just saw a guy pointing at the computer screen.
So he's
He wasn't
asking,
even smiling.
he doesn't smile that often, just when you pointed out. He's just wondering if
Okay,
you,
I will instruct him, I'll instruct him to send out liquor.
oh, thank you, I appreciate it. We're gonna have you presenting every time. Just one question is, one question is that button, he's just saying it's kind of redundant to have that button. Can it be removed? We already have two-way radios that have a check-in system on them. Is it optional?
Okay?
Your
To,
safety
actually,
button?
the SOS button, it is not included, it is an addition. You don't
Okay.
have to have it at all. You would pay for it to get that box. But however, I need to be clear, we aren't part of the health and safety group. We are not lawyers. We're not any of that. If you look at what your obligation is, yeah, you say you maybe have two-way radios and cellulars. What most municipalities are doing, perhaps you guys are, is that you've told your operators that they have to contact into on a regular basis. If you look at what the obligations are, apparently it's the inverse. It is the foreman that's supposed to be obligated to contact the people on a regular basis. And to contact somebody by two-way radio or cellular, well, it's time-consuming, it's distracting. They probably don't have hands-free in their vehicles, therefore you are telling your employees to do something illegal to talk on their phone. Just saying, it's not us at all. That's why we built it, because we were told this. The other thing is that if it's by cell, you do have a record if there was something. Like if a guy, we were told, we had two different places that guys got hurt and they're off work and they're suing the municipality because they didn't protect them well enough, in their opinion. So yeah, if somebody uses a cell phone, it will show there was a record of this. If it's two-way radio, you have no record. You got nothing. You don't have to buy this at all. Boxes, by the way, for the safety of a guy, it's a one-time fee. They're $300 each. But that's up to you. If you decide a year from now, yeah, we want to add it, then add it. It just plugs in. It's easy. But you should check the legal part of it, honestly, to see if what your operation, your process, is it compliant to what it should be. If you feel it is, well, don't get it. But you'll get it later. Do you want me to talk about money?
Yes.
Yes.
I was just gonna ask.
Okay, do you have any?
No.
No, we have no money.
Want you to
Okay,
sharpen the
look, I'm
pencil.
seeing there's 7 of you there. Some of you must have credit cards. Let's just do it. Okay, now, with depending upon what you're needing, Jim will put together whatever you request. She'll put quotes together and get them to you still today. But if somebody has a pen and paper, I'm going to reel off the hardware numbers for this. The grader system, the black box that you saw with the laser, all the cabling, every piece of hardware, not including the SOS, $1,500 is the hardware for that. Okay, the grader version, the mower version, and for sanders or sprayers, or for the, sorry, you don't have sanders really, so sorry, that doesn't matter. The mower version is $300 less because you don't need that laser. You're just hooking a wire up to your PTO, so that's $1,200. $1,500 for the grader, $1,200 for the mower, and then you're back up to $1,500 for the sprayer. And the reason is because that one has a keypad so that you can put the type of chemicals and the quantities of that. And there's a lot more stuff going on in the background. Okay, so you have 3 expensive cell phones is what I kind of say. Then there's the service fee that's related to this. The grader, it's salesman talk, it's $30 a month, but you pay annually, so $360. So a year later from now, you would be you'd be paying $360 for a year's worth of cellular, internet, server, and support for that system. The mower, same price, $360 a year, and the for the sprayer, that one is $40 a month or $480 for the year, because there's just a lot more moving parts with it. So, yeah, that's the hardware and that's the ongoing. The first hit obviously is the hardware itself. Keep in mind, by the way, we do sell GPS plain old trackers, which is more than what you have. We have tons of them. But when I first went to your equivalent to SARM here years ago, they didn't want regular GPS. They don't want to just monitor their brother-in-law. They want to know stuff. They want to know when it's working, where it's working, and all the data. So this is what this system does. So we can do very basic, or we do what you really need. One more thing is talking about the mower. The mower is the thing you get for that is included. Not only do you see the red line and blue line where it was traveling and how many times it was cutting grass, but it also, we discussed this a year ago, that you guys, well, for years, we sent your document before, you guys are spending thousands of dollars on downtime of the mower, either from slashed tires, damaged equipment, or the culverts themselves. So what you get included is this buzzer thing, that when your operator is moving towards a culvert and he gets within 10 meters or 30 feet of that, a buzzer goes off in the cab and it warns him that he's approaching a hazard, like a culvert. And if the guy couldn't see it, he wasn't paying attention, or is a summer student, he'll be more careful. He'll travel around the culvert. When he gets to the other side, a double buzz goes off to say it's all free and clear and he can continue. Okay, so that's included in this, and you virtually eliminate the damage. I know from a CEO position you're relatively new, but you should have, if you look in your bookkeeping, you'll see that what you paid, that probably, I don't know what it was, $3,000 to $5,000 a year of damage.
20 or 30.
Oh, sorry, the figure was, I think it was $27,000 over 3 years. We can resend you that page from a year ago to 4 years ago, but basically, you guys were spending a lot of money, and honestly, that $27,000 way more than covers the cost of all the things we talked about. So if you could eliminate damage and all that stuff over $9,000 a year or whatever it was, you just paid for everything. So that was my salesman talk. And again, we can give you that document that was given to us from a year ago, if that helps. So $1,500 for graders, $1,500 for the sprayer, $1,200 for the mowers. And the question we typically get asked is that how does the buzzer go off? How does it know where a culvert is? You need one more piece of equipment. It's called an exit, X-I-T. What that is it's used to mark where the culverts are. It's $1,000, not huge money. I'm guessing most RMs don't know a digital map. You don't know where your culverts are, so you don't have the locations. So for $1,000, you can get this device, and either a foreman or employee or a summer student literally drives around. It takes a while. Drive over top of a culvert, and this device plugs into a cigarette lighter, and you push the button, and it marks it. So now, you guys have a digital map of your 492 culverts, which is a good thing to have, because you should have that as a CEO for your asset management. But that same data is pushed over the air to the devices in the mowers, and that's how it knows where the culvert is and when you're approaching it, if that all makes sense. Did I make sense?
Yeah, so that
Somebody
doesn't
wave.
need to be hooked up to the mower itself, it's just you drive around mowing season?
Yeah, it's a box. It's just a box with a button on it, 3 inches by 3 inches, plugs in the cigarette lighter, marks it. It goes to the server, and you keep that data forever, but then over the air wirelessly, that data gets pushed to the device. So for instance, let's say you had 400 culverts, and then next year you added 5 more in a new location. You had some new roads, which isn't that common. You can push those 5 more to the device. See, because the device just needs to know, because it knows where it is because of these GPS satellite, it knows where it is all the time. So you can update it and change it. even after you use that exit to mark where everything is, you continue to use it. Again, I'm that city boy. You apparently have frozen culverts sometimes. This can be used that when you mark where a frozen culvert is, the guy that has to go to repair, as he drives over that culvert, the buzzer goes off to let him know it's that culvert they got to work on. Okay, so it tells you a lot. Also, you can mark not just where the culverts are, but if there are big rocks or anything else. Do you guys have a weed program at all?
A weed program? Yes.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I love saying the words. I did not know what they were. Normally, your mower operator, what they're supposed to do is identify and see where leafy spurge or some other noxious weed is. And they're supposed to avoid that because if they run over it, they're spreading and making it worse. This same device isn't just marking where culverts are. You can mark where bad stuff is. So when your driver, your operator, moves towards leafy spurge, it'll buzz to let him know he's supposed to go around it so you don't make it worse. So it helps your weed program for just by somebody pushing a stupid button on a little box. Okay? You can use that same exit to mark where, and I'm guessing you don't have it. You can mark where all of your other assets, curb stops, stop signs, park benches, roadkill. We don't care what you're marking with it, but you can mark where everything is. And you can use this, your culverts, if you have 400 and something, you can put remarks in because you have to, as asset management, you have to put what the condition is of that culvert, for instance. Is it a 1 through to a 5? 5 means it's great, 1 means it's got to be replaced soon. So you can indicate that in there. It helps you from asset management. You can also freeform, you can put that it's a 36-inch fiberglass, whatever. So you can put extra stuff. All for this $1,000. It's not like it's a lot of work. And even if you've done all this, you could then use it as a plain GPS tracker. You can put that into a foreman's vehicle, not to track the guy, but for health and safety. You want to know where that guy is in case there's trouble. Anyway, the 6 pieces of equipment for the graders is about $9,000. The other 3 pieces about 5, so you're at 14,000 plus that exit. You're at $15,000. That is your asset hit for the first time. A year later, it's about $4,000 is your ongoing for your service fee for all of that equipment. But it's well worth it because that $4,000 itself is going to pay for the not damaged stuff. Anyway, I talk a lot. I'm saying a lot of stuff. I don't know what you're caring or listening about.
We have one other question here.
Thank God.
Can you hear me?
No.
No. He's gonna come over here to talk to you.
Actually, I got 2 quick questions.
Oh, he's hello.
Yeah, warranty on the hardware. 5 years?
Oh, yeah, the warranty, all equipment comes with a 2-year warranty at a minimum. Okay? We need, at Bubble thing, we showed you that everybody said nice things about us. We need your bubble, and we need you to say nice things. If somebody took a sledgehammer to something, well, there's no warranty, but typical ordinary operation, like for instance, the exit, I don't think we've ever had one back. The mower, I don't think we've ever had one back in these years. The grader, some have had, somebody did something with it, I don't know. The lasers, we've never had them back for that. Basically, if 3 years from now, I mean, it's not in writing, but if you have something that doesn't work right and it can't be fixed there, you ship it to us, we'll fix it. And chances are we won't even charge you, we'll just ship it back to you. We've already got your money, so to speak. Why would we not want to continue with it? So 2-year minimum, probably a lot longer.
Yes, and the second question is service fee. Can we get a contract? Like, do you have 5-10-year contracts? Like for a certain price to lock it?
No, the answer would be no. you've locked yourself in at the service fees for 2 years, just like the warranty. But our grader package today is $1,500. Our grader package 5 years ago was $1,500. The service fee annual for all the stuff was $360 a year 5 years ago. It's $360 a year now. So none of that is changed at all. Even though the prices of all the hardware and stuff has gone up and so on, no, we're fine, and you're going to get the same pricing. So can I guarantee 5 years from now? No, but I can guarantee you it hasn't changed in 5 years, and we have no intentions of changing it. So your budget is pretty much a certainty for many years.
Hello, my name's Malcolm. I have 2 questions. Can you hear me okay, sir?
Can hear you, yes, hi.
Hello. The first question is the Connex system. What frequency does it run off of right now, and what's the life expectancy of that frequency to remain active in Canada? Currently, right now, John Deere's removing 2G and 3G.
It's all cellular based. Are you talking about like the cellular band, like 2G, 3G, 4G, that sort of thing?
Yes, as currently right now they're removing 2G and 3G from the towers, and personally I have John Deere equipment that has to have their MTGs upgraded to 4G or better. What status is yours at, and what's the life expectancy before those technologies are outdated?
Okay.
And yep.
Okay, because I haven't given you an answer short yet, and I'm not about to now. Here's the deal. The SIM cards that we put in them, they automatically look for the best. And they literally work. 2G is pretty much non-existent now, and there is 3G. Our SIM cards work for 2G, 3G, HSPA Plus it's called, 4G. There is no 5G for data stuff. We use something called LTE-M. It is the latest, newest for anything. Saskatchewan, for instance, they were years behind. You guys had LTE-M, which was the best out of all of it for data. All of you guys have had it for 3 years. We just got it 6 months ago. SaskTel's a little slow in the head about that stuff. So it will work for all of it. And and it falls back. If you don't have LTE-M and it's got to fall back one level to what's there, it works. To us and to you guys, it's transparent. It doesn't change. I do want, you have a second question or second part, but I forgot to mention this. The cool thing with our system, no municipality has great cell coverage everywhere. So here's an example. You have a road grader, no better yet, I'm going to say a mower. A mower is traveling along and they go into a dip or into a valley, and you're out of cell coverage. First of all, the device knows where it is because it can still see satellite, so that buzzer for the culverts, it will work perfectly fine. But it cannot communicate when the blade is turned on or off or turns if they're not in cell coverage. When that vehicle gets to the top of a hill, so to speak, and they're back into cell coverage, all of our devices store up to 20,000 events, meaning that a turn, ignition, on, off, speeding, everything. 20,000 events. If you were way up north, you could be away for 5 months and come back and it would work. So anyway, when your guy gets to the top of the hill and he gets in cell coverage, all the events that happen, the blade on and off and the rest of it, gets downloaded over the air, so you never lose any data at all. And then the unit continues on. Your operator, us, you don't even notice the difference. The one exception I'll say on the negative side is if you had an SOS button and he was down in the valley and he's in trouble, well, yeah, he's in trouble because you push that button, he's not in cell coverage. Yes, if you can make it to the top of the hill, but the odds of that are like so minuscule. So that's that part. My apologies. Second question you have. Sorry.
The second question is about the locating device. Does the person who has the locating device, do they have the ability to differentiate? Okay. Does the person who has the locating device, when they are out locating culverts, do they have the ability to differentiate between a culvert, a stone, and a weed infestation, or does that have to be done separately by the office staff? and be identified on an as-item basis?
Listen to you. It's like we paid you to ask that question. Okay, so I'm excited by this. Each of the devices, they have 2 different buttons on it, but you can operate up to 4 things. One's I think a red button and one is a yellow. If the guy in your system, you can map it to say, if John pushes the yellow button for a second, that is culverts. If he pushes the red button for a second, that's weeds. If he pushes the yellow button and holds it for 3 seconds, it's raccoons on the road. And if he pushes the red button and holds it for a few seconds, that could be something totally different. So you can mark up to 4 different things, and our system will recognize it and put the data that he's trying to tell the system, it'll do it the right way. So let's say, for instance, you did everything on the server, you could change that yellow push button to be something totally different. It can do up to 4 at a time, which is probably way more than enough, but you could. If today is mark all the stop signs and it's not part of your 4 that you have, you go in and change it. So you can have an unlimited number of things you want to mark, 4 different things at a time.
Okay.
Boy, again, a lot of words, huh? The answer is yes.
Thank you.
I want to state something. We think we're pretty smart here, but I got to tell you, the first one of those exit things that we made had 1 button, that's all it was. But you customers are always so demanding. You want 4. So we took your feedback and changed it. The features we have, most of them are from people like you guys that say you want us to do something different than we didn't. So if you guys, we welcome you. If you find some freakish thing that you want that nobody else does, we'll probably add it to it. We aren't in Bangladesh. We are not in Texas. We're in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. We developed it here. We make it here. The software is here. We have 3 servers that are United States backup. One backs up another server, backs up another, and the 3rd one, all it does is play solitaire all day long. It doesn't even get used, I think. So we covered everything. We're darn nice guys. You phone us on a Saturday at 2 o'clock, it'll be voicemail, but we all get the voicemail, and if it's an emergency line, we'll phone you back right away. We do it 7 days a week. Probably won't do it at midnight, but I mean, this is who we are. We have a giant list, hundreds and hundreds of municipal clients that we have that we don't pay them to say nice things. They will say that whatever the amount was I gave you for the whole system, they see the value in it and they will not turn back. They love it.
I know you guys are right by Glenboro, South Cypress as well. They use our bulk water fill, our grader things, mower things, and heat system as well. So they would be an excellent person to contact if you're looking.
Are you guys friends with them or are you mortal enemies?
No mortal enemies here.
Any other questions here?
Oh, that's good. Well, what's
Jared?
up from Corner Gas? Whatever that other town, they hated them. They spit when they said their name. So we're glad that you guys like them. So contact them. We don't pay them. We don't bribe them. Kim, have they given us testimonials?
Yeah,
Okay.
a few.
We have several testimonials.
I can reach out to Darren and ask.
Okay, any more? Good enough?
Okay?
We're good on questions now.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Reeves says, thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay, thank you. So are you okay that what Kim should do, how about she makes 1 quote for 6th graders, 1 quote for 2 mowers and include, or 3 mowers and include that exit, like the marking device, because it kind of goes hand in hand with the mowers. And then she'll give you a 3rd one that is for the sprayers separately, okay? And you guys can do an a la carte thing.
Yep,
I
that's,
will warn you about something.
Yep.
I'm louder than Kim, but Kim is much nicer than me. So she's gonna quote you for all this stuff. You tell us, she'll contact you, whatever you have interest in, why don't you talk nice to her, and Kim will probably bundle and give you a discount, like if you buy this, we'll give you this, or something like that. 'Cause that's
perfect.
what she seems to do, without my permission.
That's because she's a good woman.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Okay,
your
so you guys should
presentation.
Thanks, you go about your whatever else you're doing there today. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
You as well. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Should put him and Sean Erickson in the same room.
What are we paying John Deere for those?
I really don't know,
Is it a monthly thing
honestly.
too?
No, it'll be here. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it was included for the first couple of years at least.
Okay, so we could look at 3 graders if we're interested, possibly.
Okay, let's continue on with, we'll talk more about this anything, okay?
Sure.
Round the table. Grant.
Well, me again first. Well, I like to thank Wake Mud Watershed. It shows some things are getting done in my ward, and we had a mile of Wake Mud trench dug up. People like to see something done. And I'll let Help Action, I'll let Dallas, if I can add something. And Jerome, I'll let you go with curling and all that.
Okay, that's all you had there?
That's all. That's
Okay. Now the Brookdale Recreation Committee had their mixed bonspiel and 3-on-3 hockey tournament this weekend. It was good success with lots of people coming out for the social on Saturday night. There were 14 teams in the bonspiel, and I'm not too sure how many in the hockey side, but there was a good crowd there all day Saturday. And yeah, other than that, I just had that meeting before the bonspiel, and everything else is pretty good.
That was,
Okay, yeah, I'll throw out the Health Action Committee, but, yeah.
You weren't there.
Yeah, I know, I
You
almost
got
forgot
it.
to present on that. We just had one this last week. There's a lot of irons in the fire, still a lot of frustration with red tape, but there's a potentially a doctor that, I can talk about the other clinic, right?
No.
There's
Yeah.
potentially exciting news, but I don't know how much we can actually share, but there's thinking outside the box going on, a few different avenues to try and see if we can get some doctors in town here quick, so working on it. Not
There's,
much more to say about that, but
sorry.
go for it.
Yeah, there was 2 letters supposedly written to the provincial, one to the,
Yes.
isn't that correct?
There was letters sent to like to Prairie Mountain Health, and then there's been direct contact with one of Wapkanu's direct assistants that they're on it, and they're really wanting to streamline the whole process as to the extra staff. These, you know, the doctors don't want it. They're in line to come here to work. They just
The doctor that was supposed to come and do a site visit,
it didn't show
a
up.
no-show.
Yeah.
And so basically we're back to square one. We have lots of,
There's still potentials there, just
We
not
got-
that one.
potentials on lots of doctors that we gotta know the answers from the government, get, excuse my language, shit or get off the pot. We're gonna do it ourselves. That's about all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that
No,
language.
No, it's all good.
But it's getting frustrating.
Yeah,
There's
for
just too many.
all levels involved, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one request from public that we do just a nice little Facebook post to introduce our new financial officer and say welcome to the crew. On the Arts Council side, there's a piano recital this Friday in town at the United Church, 7 o'clock. And I've also had, well, I'm sure a lot of us have, a fair few people kind of reach out for more information since the RCMP released last week. So I've been just sharing my comments when that, you know, legally we're not allowed to have too much more comment at this time for the investigation. So I'm bringing everything forward, but there's just not much we're allowed to say right now. So that's it.
thank you, welcome.
Not a lot. Apologies for missing the last meeting. The Wellwood Community Club stuff, you've probably seen everything about it on Facebook. So they're getting along fine. There's another meeting tonight I got to go to. Other than that, talking with the veterinary clinic in town. They've got the outdoor tipping table installed. They're hoping for a little bit more equipment if we can get approval on that one grant. But so far we've got that. They're starting to get that one thing else installed outdoors. They're just going to get a little bit of penning set up. Try to help move some of the stuff outside instead of for the large animal. Other than that, not a lot. Thanks to the guys for getting at it, for clearing the roads the last week. The storm was brutal. They did their best. Thank them for it, please. That's it, Harold.
Harold,
I'm good.
Teresa. Okay, done.
So, as you all know, we hired Shauna. She's been working, trying to understand our programming, a little different. We have completed 5 interviews for Parks and Rec. We are currently calling 3 people's references, and we'll see what we get from that. Interviews for the operator for the RM went well. We narrowed it down. We had an opportunity of 5. We narrowed it down to 2, and we'll discuss it a little further and see references where that goes, but they were all very good candidates. On Employee Appreciation Day, I went around and went to the shops and I delivered cinnamon buns, but when doing that, I noticed we still have signage from RM of North Cypress with a beaver on the Brookdale shop. And I would like to propose or ask council if we can start getting some unified signage on all our shops to match our office.
I like the old sign.
That's we're no longer and this is where I was told maybe it would have to go to the museum or something.
Yes.
I don't want that to Beaver to go, because that's the beacon. Everyone knows where the beavers are.
And maybe they'll deter if we
Get out of here then.
We could just
So-
put a new sign beside it.
My thought was we should be more unified on all our
Signage.
buildings and
Yep.
signage.
Dealer stays in Brookdale, that's all.
Well, I like the old Langford one too, with the
What
guys.
else you got there?
And then I have everything that was to go into tax sale. There were 8 properties to go this season, so that's off and running right now, and that's about it.
Thank you.
I forget, there wasn't anything else from joint that we need to bring forward? Do we need to talk any further about the daycare land? Was that, we're all on the same
Not
page for
right.
that?
Not right now, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the Langford Rec. They had a meeting the other night. They just got together, talking maybe of giving some money to the Air Cadets for their new flight simulator. Maybe. Gotta find out who to get hold of. Thank you to all the operators for the work they did over the last couple of weeks with all the snow and everything. And Malcolm was talking to vet clinics. I hear they've got another increase in funding coming this year. We had a caucus meeting at Clarny on Friday. It was very good down there. Carbon tax is a big discussion. Keystone Center in Brandon, it's a substantial number of dollars what they put every year just into carbon taxes and stuff like that. Brian Schoenbart was down there and Trina talked about the healthcare system. It's all over the place. Everybody has a big issue. Ambulance drivers, big shortage. Salaries way too low. Paramedics, $18 an hour. It's not very much money, is it really, when you think about it, stuff like that. Even in the unions in the healthcare, like I had 50 or 60 different unions. The guy that looks after the bathrooms can't even change the roll of toilet paper. That's a different role. That's a different union. You know, we're in a sad situation. Anyway, they were thinking of maybe trying to do a long-term doctors thing in Brandon maybe now, trying to get 16 to 20 students, educate them in there, maybe. They've changed their international medical grads to 7 from 5 for all of Canada. Brandon himself are short 40 doctors. So, you know, we got problems here, but there's problems everywhere, unfortunately, so. It was a good meeting down there, so. Other than that, there's a lot of discussion on conflict of interest around council tables nowadays. Just when a person should step back and when they shouldn't and everything, so. Other than LiDAR starting to be a big thing, they're starting to talk municipal LiDAR now. Watersheds are doing it now right now, you heard?
Mhm.
They're talking of maybe municipal starting to look at more of it, so. Just a way of mapping stuff different, so. Other than that, that's about it for now. Thank you everybody for the storm and putting up with it and everything else. Anybody else got anything to add to what they had to say? Alrighty. In camera, resolution 75, 2024, be it resolved that council as a committee of the whole move into in camera to discuss personnel matters. Do we have a mover, please? Seconder, please. Harold. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much.